Go. Bwaaa Badoosh. Badoosh.
Deek and Bryan here from Next Adventure for another fireside chat
With the fire.
with the fire. So we had a couple since we last left you. Had a couple of great questions, and luckily there's two questions that we can answer at the same time. So you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. So the first question was, what were things that Bryan and I liked to do together when we were younger? We can tell you a little bit about that. And then you dropped the Bwaaa Badoosh thing at the end of one of the things, and somebody picked up on it, and they said, what in the heck is Bwaaa Badoosh? So let's jump into it. So
Tell this story.
the story is, I don't know if everyone knows this, but Bryan and I have known each other a long time. In fact, our mothers started first grade together. And we met on their 10-year class reunion. So that made me 5 and Bryan was 8. And man, what a jerk he was. No, I'm teasing. And so, man, we grew up doing all kinds of stuff.
Outdoors.
We were outdoors all the time. So Bryan grew up north.
On a river.
Small town called Acme, Washington.
In the South Fork of the Nooksack River.
Yeah. And I grew up in Oregon, outside of a town called Cottage Grove, above a reservoir called Dorena Reservoir. So we both grew up in the water, but about 8 hours apart. So our families would vacation together, and that's actually where the name of Next Adventure came from. So the joke was we would go to visit each other, and of course you're in the car 8 hours.
You
can't wait. So the car wouldn't even come to a stop, and the door would fly open, and we'd bail out, and the parents were like, "Oh my God, what's your next adventure?" So that's a true story. That's where the name of the business came from.
Yep.
So when we were young, we would go fishing and snorkeling, and always in the water somehow, some way.
Right. That was
always in trouble most of the time. We loved to, of course, country boys shooting guns and fishing poles and dogs.
Then, we got into motorcycles pretty early.
And motorcycles. So after high school, Bryan went into the Army. I went to college, or on the Army. Sorry, into the Navy.
I cannot believe you called the Army, dude. It's Navy.
Navy. Sorry. He was on a carrier in the Navy, and after that, I moved to Seattle. Bryan was back in Bellingham, and we started riding motorcycles. And this is where Bwaaa Badoosh comes in. So, so I would work all week. I'd drive up to Bellingham. Bryan would have the bikes all ready to go.
Yeah. So you're a personal mechanic for a number of years there.
I used to wreck my shit and then just leave, and he would
spend all week fixing the damn bikes up again.
I'd come back; it was repaired and working. So then we would go out riding all day.
Yeah.
One of our favorite rides was just up the South Fork, the 1,000 Puddle Trail, and one of our favorite things to do on the 1,000 Puddle Trail was to race and try to get ahead of the other guy, because if you landed in a puddle right ahead of the other guy, what happened?
You would just soak the crap out of the other guy. So if you each one of these puddles, you jump, and as long as you could beat the other guy and land before him, whoosh, this guy got buried. So obviously it was a race down this thing, but the key was, how do you take off? You gotta go bwaaa, and then you land badoosh in the water. So that's how we pretty much described it to everybody. The challenge was that our, wives and girlfriends at the time thought it would be hilarious to then spell that out in our tighty whitey underwear and hats and T-shirts, and of course then hand them to us. It was at I'm pretty sure it was a Christmas gift. It was a family gathering, and they busted this out. And problem was, they thought we might be embarrassed, but actually Deek and I were like, totally cool, this is awesome. And we had hats and stuff and matching underwear, so we won't go past that. But
yeah, they just got sick of, because you go out riding all day, and then you come home and you have a couple beers, and then you talk about how cool you were riding. And so we had, everybody, when you're into a sport and you got guys and people that you do stuff with, you get your own lingo. And so our lingo was Bwaaa Badoosh.
You gotta have sound effects, man. You can't tell a story without sound effects.
So true story. Bryan and I had matching tighty whities that said Bwaaa Badoosh on the butt.
So now you know.
All right, guys. Probably more information than you need to know about Deek and Bryan. Right? But hey, we're here for the fireside chats with you. as long as we're stuck. Thanks so much. Be
See you
safe.
later.
Thanks for your support.